Alpine Liquid Fertilizers is your full-season crop fertility specialist from start to finish. Visit alpinepfl.com for more.
Bernard Tobin here at the Ontario Certified Crop Advisors annual meeting here in London, Ontario. I'm catching up with Susan Fitzgerald, the Executive Director of the organization this morning. Susan, how's it going?
Going very well, and thanks for being back again, Bern. We always appreciate seeing you here.
Susan, let's talk about the meeting, the organization. A great crowd to start things off here yesterday. You had to be pleased with that.
Yeah, we had about 220 CCAs here, which is roughly a third of our total membership. There's around 660, maybe a little bit over that here in Ontario. And so we're very pleased to see, that many that have come out to the meeting.
Susan, let's talk about the state of the nation, shall we say. CCAs across Canada, across Ontario, across North America. You've got about 650, 660 members. How does that stack up for you now? Are you happy with that? How does it compare to, I guess, the rest of the landscape for CCAs?
Yeah, it's interesting you asked that question, Bern, because we are pleased with that, staying stable and maybe adding a few every year. And there's also a CCA Prairie Board. Their numbers are actually growing, and so that's good to see. Atlantic Canada is stable, but Canadian CCAs make up 17% of the North American CCA population. So Canada's strong. And as I say, the Prairie Board is continuing to grow. But what we've seen, which is interesting, is some of the strong U.S. states for agriculture, like Illinois and Indiana, that have had very strong CCA populations, let's say, have started to see a decline in numbers. And we're interested as to why is that? Is that a reflection of consolidation in the industry, both at the farm level and at the retail level? Or what is causing that? And because they have strong boards, they have strong staff there, so it's not that piece. So in Canada, we haven't seen that. We haven't seen a decline in our numbers. In fact, as I say, the Prairie Board is growing, and we represent 17% of the total CCA population.
Let's talk about the CCA designation, Susan. It is in demand, as you mentioned. What does it stack up from a perspective of what it means to employers, to farmers, to people seeking CCAs to help them with their business?
And we've been asking that question. Last night we had our banquet and we were chatting with some of the younger CCAs, and it's a benchmark. It's showing your peers, your employer, your customers that you've achieved that certain level of knowledge and experience and professionalism. Because, of course, to acquire that designation, you have to write and pass 2 exams, an international exam and an Ontario exam. You also have to have actual experience in crop advising, and you sign a code of ethics. And then every 2 years, you have to acquire 40 continuing education units. So, and we asked the CCAs last night about that, and they said it makes them feel proud, that they can show that they have these credentials. And coming to this meeting, which is restricted to CCAs, they said it really makes them feel part of a professional organization.
I noticed in looking at the CCA examination results, that's a tough exam. 45 people wrote the exam, 25 passed here in Ontario, 52%. It's tough to be a CCA.
Yeah, that exam is not easy. And as I said, there's the international one, which everyone writes, whether you're in Canada or the U.S., and there's actually CCA programs now in Mexico and Brazil. And then you do your local exam, and so that's our Ontario exam. So it's interesting that our Ontario exam writers have a higher pass rate on the international exam than the average pass rate, right? So our Ontario exam writers do really well on the international exam. And then that pass rate of about 52% of the people pass is pretty standard with the other boards. We wondered if our exam was just really difficult, but that's similar because you're really asked very specific questions. So no, it's not easy to achieve that designation, I think that adds a bit to it, right? If it's too easy, then it maybe doesn't have as much value.
It certainly sets the standard.
Yeah.
Tell me about the CCA Award of Excellence. You gave that out yesterday at your banquet. Jonathan Zettler was named to that award. That's become quite a prestigious award, and so the winners have made a step internationally.
Yeah, that's right. So the first CCA Award of Excellence was given in 2003, and it is to recognize someone who has gone over and above. right? So what have they done that is exceptional? And, they could be nominated by a peer, by an employer, by a grower customer. So 2003 was the first one, and as you mentioned last night, the winner was Jonathan Zettler. And we have had two of our winner here, we then nominate for the International CCA Award of Excellence. And we have had two that have won that award. So Paul Hermans was our CCA award winner in 2022. We nominated him for the International Award, and he won that in this past year, 2024. Dale Cowan was the other CCA Award of Excellence from Ontario that got the International CCA Award of Excellence. And the only other one from Canada has been John Hurd from Manitoba. So we've had 3 Canadians that have gone on to that level, and we're quite pleased by that.
Let's finish it up with some thoughts on looking ahead the next year, maybe the strategic plan and where this organization goes and where CCAs want to go. What's that discussion like today, and what's on the agenda?
Well, we talked about the declining numbers in some of the other boards, and we don't want to see that happen here. So the focus in this coming year is going to be asking and listening to CCAs what provides value to them currently. Why do they continue to maintain their CCA designation year after year? And also, what could we do, what could we offer that would add more value? As you know, with any volunteer association that you're not required to belong to, and they're not, you have to continually to add value to your members. And so that's going to be the focus for the coming year.
Awesome. Susan, always great to catch up with you. Another great conference. So we'll see you again next year.
You bet. Thanks very much.